Hello and welcome to episode 44 of A Dose of Sinsanity. I am Geer3. I am joined by Welshy today. Most likely it's just going to be us, but we could get a special guest, Jamokin, coming in later. But if not, that's all right. We just get a little bit of me, you action again.
Yeah, you
Nothing
might
wrong with
sweep
that.
through, but we got a couple of major things to talk about today, I think.
Yeah,
See what I
Lima
did there?
Majors started, and I did see what you started, or what you did.
Thanks, bud.
I liked it. It was funny. You're a funny guy. Anywho, did you get a chance to see like the opening games at all, or like when they started the stream initially for the Lima Major?
Not the opening ceremony, right?
No, not the opening ceremony or anything like
No,
that.
I did not.
So our good buddy Fu, as we all know,
Oh
South
God.
American, Peruvian from Lima. I'd go up to him and I'm like, brother, what is happening? And for those of you who don't know, they didn't have sound for like 30 minutes or like 20 minutes like through the first games. Like their side streams, half of them weren't working. When they initially brought them on like the set, um it was like they activated the wrong microphones to be on. Because like you could barely hear the panel who was talking. It was like they're like talking on the other side of the room, and then somebody's just asking questions into the other mic to somebody else backstage. Like it's fucking disaster.
Dude, high
Um,
quality production.
but I was just bothering for you. I go, man. I go, you guys get one opportunity. You get a major. What's happening? And he was livid, and primarily around the theme. And he's like, what is this set? He goes, of all the things that you could like talk about, like Coastal City of Lima, like how beautiful it is, like talk about like Machu Picchu
Yeah,
and
like
like
some monuments of Peru in some form, like or some like Peruvian
Mhm.
architecture. But no. So for
And he
people like,
goes,
yeah.
of all the things to talk about and the themes that you could have,
What
poverty and alcohol.
Yeah, dude, what do you even call the theme? So for people's like Cookie's girlfriend, we have to explain this because this is like it's actually atrocious. It really is. Like, let me just say, like, so I as everybody's heard 700 times, I went to the not Houston, the Austin major, and they really played
Arlington, darling.
Arlington. My God, I'm stupid. I flew into Austin, but uh, like they really leaned into the cowboy theme. You remember that? Like they really
Yeah, I
leaned
mean
into it.
Jenkins is
Yeah, which I
like
mean,
half the
when
staff
you
is
think
sitting
like
around like
Texas, when anybody thinks
bandanas and
Texas, right? If you're from anywhere in the world, you think of that. But
sure.
yeah, but the Peruvian theme, I mean, you're exactly right. Like the theme was just like poverty. It was just like, I mean, what was the like the standouts for you from the set? Like just describe it.
All right, so there's one main thing, and I'll tell you what Fu's big thing was too,
Oh,
and this is
dude.
what really aggravated him. My big thing was the freaking ladder in the background with like a freaking newspaper and just a random ass solo cup. Like it looked like somebody just left shit on the stage.
Just
Like
left
they're
it on
putting it
set.
up and they're like, nah, fuck it.
That's the worst part. You literally couldn't tell with half the stuff that was there if it was left there by production, not by mistake, or if it was meant to be part of the actual like set. It was terrible.
It was like they got on, like they got there and like they lost like their entire shipment of supplies. So they're like, oh, I wonder what they got in the shed out back. Oh, here's some beer boxes.
Oh, some lawn chairs? Oh, dude, we could put some lawn chairs out there. Oh, we
Brother,
got some beer boxes?
I was looking at one of the other casts and like those
Yeah.
white lawn chairs, like the ones are like on like videos they kick the bottoms out of,
Yep.
like the cheap
Yeah.
dollar store ones. They're sitting on those.
It was
Brother,
awful.
like
It was
these are
awful.
some of the top like talent in Dota, like in Dota, and you're gonna sit on literal plastic, but you're gonna do this for hours at a time. Enjoy getting up in the morning.
Oh my God, man.
Like, just the worst shit.
I mean, again, it was just the fact that, like, I mean, it's just such an insult to Peru overall, right? Like, I don't know. When you think Peru, like, the first thing I don't think of is just, like, rough street life, I guess, and, like, just, I don't know,
I'm
urban
sure there's
environments.
poverty, but like there's poverty everywhere.
Yeah, and then it was like maybe I'm making a reach here, but you remember that Fu was like, first off, I was there for when Fu was losing his mind. And this guy is like, honestly, he's a very proud Peruvian, and it just sucks that this is like he honestly is upset this country got represented this way. Like they were wearing hats that made no sense, like the Peruvian hats that everybody walks that wears. Like how do you describe those? Like they're knit and
Oh,
whatever.
they're the knitted ones that like I picture people wear like the Incans wearing them or something like that when they're on a
Yeah,
llama heading to Machu Picchu. Like you know what I'm talking about? The
yeah,
llama hikes and shit.
yeah.
Like that's what I like. They're wearing one of those, and it just looks stupid. Like I don't know. It was like they walked through the streets and found it in the garbage, or somebody left it the last time they were there. Like I don't know. Like yeah, the whole theme's poverty, and the whole like of all the rich culture that Peru actually has, this isn't a representation that I would say is good for them. They're already going through a tough time. Like they're trying to derail the government, like overthrow shit, and fuck like their last like 5 presidents have been in jail.
Yeah, no,
Like
oh, dude, I bring that up to Fu all the time. I'm just like, when was the
yeah,
last time somebody in the head of your office was not like either like kicked out or arrested?
but this is like it's a big international event. And like when I think of that, like I'm not comparing Dota to the Olympics, but it's an event similar where you bring multiple countries and regions to a specific place. And a big thing, like in their ceremonies and like the themes on everything, is the culture behind like what the area they're
No,
in,
you're right.
right?
They play into it. Like even if the oh my god, Austin, not Austin, Arlington. Even if the Arlington
Arlington.
one was like a little stereotypical, like it's the thing everyone knows Texas for, right? Cowboys and shit. Like even the
Yeah,
Texans enjoy being represented by having cowboys, right?
right.
But like,
But you just literally say, okay, your country is and your city is poverty in boxes of beer. Like that was their table, was boxes of beer.
yeah, and a fucking don't forget the stereo that was from it was a stereo that was from like the 1980s, like just sitting on the table, and then it was like a
Oh my
tiny
god.
barbecue grill next to it with yeah, oh my god, I see it. The ladder with the solo cup on it. What is this?
Oh my god. The ladder with the solo cup literally was like, oh, some dude just left this on set.
Oh, dude, and even worse than that, like if you look at it, so it's a bunch of posters on the back, which is like kind of cool. Like, I'll give credit there, but like
Oh,
the thing,
the posters are cool.
yeah,
Like
but
all the
but
graphics.
look at the brick wall, quote unquote, that's behind them. Like in this photo, everyone, like there's a photo of a brick. It's a brick wall meant to be like the background of the whole set, and it's just a paper thing. Like it's not. And look at this. There's like shitty lighting on it. Like it's honestly awful. And again,
It,
like you said, it's poverty, right? It's just it's
it is.
I don't know. And like the I mean, let it be said, the only person wearing something even like Lima related is really Cinderin, and who is that wearing the hat? Do you know?
Fear.
Yeah, Cinderin and Fear. Fear's wearing the hat, which makes no sense given where they're at in it, and Cinderin's wearing like I think a more traditional like skirt thing that is from Peru, and she's wearing the
Right?
Nikes. So good on her. She's wearing nice. She's wearing Jordans.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like dog shit set. If that is
It was
borderline
bad.
racist.
And
Like
you think about it, like SA has been on the like up and up when it comes to
yeah,
Dota.
dude.
And you go nuts at TI and like out of nowhere you're doing great at majors and
Yeah.
you earn this right. And then they're like, "Oh, we're going to knock you down."
And it's
Why?
no, you're right, and it's even more than that. Like we've talked before 1,000 times about the up and coming community that is the South American like Dota scene, and not only is that the problem, like not only is there the way they're represented an issue, but then the overall quality is garbage. Like I mean, you said a couple of games, man, but there's worse problems than that. Some games just didn't even have English casters or like certain languages that are super common.
Oh, brother, they had some English cast listed as like Russian, like in client.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the correct languages listed under like whatever. which was wild to me because you do that in lobby. And then the other bit is like I'm 90% sure they missed an entire game.
Like just didn't have a stream open for
the
it.
second, yeah. So like game 2, like in the first like set of games, I waited like 45, 50 minutes, right? For just the stream to come back online. And then it's like the start of the EG game. And then someone mentioned like it's already over in client. Like they missed the whole thing and just had to watch it on replay and cast it.
Ugh.
How horrible is that?
It's a horrible introduction to South America Dota. And at the same
and,
time, for some reason, I expected it.
Like the in game, like you can't watch it in game because the audio is so fucked.
Oh yeah,
half the
in-game audio like casts just don't work. Like they just weren't there. Like they'd messed up the settings and like what is it? You remember in our like old casting days, we had to figure out that you had to have like open chat open, otherwise you like your stuff didn't come through. Like real
like
basic casting mistakes.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was awful, and I'm being serious. 82L themselves could have run the event better. Like as far as streaming goes and that kind of thing. Like and this is stuff like, dude, it's lobby admin, like in-game kind of stuff. That's very small. But like I'm telling you, yeah, it really is. Like I mean, for an event this size, the $500,000 prize pool. I don't know.
It's beyond me that we do like this is what's coming out. I don't know.
No, you're right. This is also the first major that I've seen where the main broadcast on Twitch had less viewers than I think like 7 or 8 quote unquote co-casting streamers that were on. Like I think
oh yeah.
Who's that really popular English one with the stupid ass name? Who's the really popular Dota streamer? The one with like the crazy hair.
Oh, the one that was
who am I thinking of?
OG for a bit. Goodness gracious.
He's famous for raging. Sorry, everyone. We're gonna play memory game real quick here.
My memory is not gonna work on that, but Gork.
Thank you. You are dead on. It's Gork. Gork had like 19, I think it was like 9K or 10K viewers. It might have been 19, but I don't want to say too confidently. And I went and looked at the actual English stream, and it was like 1,000 viewers because the quality was dog shit. And like Gork had just the game stream, which is all they needed.
Yeah. The crazy thing to me is like people bitched in rose hell about TI in the group stage and how shitty of quality that was. And then they're like, oh, we take everything you guys say and to heart and everything. And then we go to fucking Lima Major. First major right outside of it. And it's worse. What are you doing with your time? These people do this professionally. I feel bad for the actual talent.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The reason I feel bad about this is the fact that like everything that you do, you're putting your name on. And for people like that, they're the best in the world. And your name is sitting next to actual shit. Like you're destroying the caster's reputation because they have to do this.
Oh, dead on. Do you remember? I mean, let it be said, this is not the first time this has happened. I mean, TI, like you said, the group stages quality was dog. And then do you remember like all of the like how terrible the Shanghai one was? Do you remember all the things of like losing keyboards, like computers being stolen, like just random things going missing? Like, I mean, it's not the first, nor is it the last time it's going to be just terrible, honestly.
To me, you've done it enough times, you should be able to get it presentable.
Yeah, sorry.
And like the audio thing is the biggest thing. You are online streaming. You're not live in a stadium doing this shit. Like your audio and your streams are everything. How you allow that low quality is beyond me. I don't get it. I really don't.
If you can't tell everybody, we're quite unsatisfied with the fact that it does shame to the game we love so much, as we usually are.
It's gotten better. Like they have done some things like with the set, like they worked some things around to make it less shit. Like they zoomed in the camera angle and like all that stuff, but it's still shit.
Oh, I guarantee you, if we got somebody in here who was like in production, like videography, they would tear apart the entirety of it. Because
Oh, I'm
I don't know if
sure.
you saw like the graphics and the backgrounds they used during the stream were terrible. And it was like this bright yellow that was like obnoxious. And then for some
I
reason
don't
during the
mind
game,
that.
I
I
hated it.
really like the graphics. I actually don't mind. And the reason being is like they're trying to keep like at least some type of cultural thing and like ink and stuff like that. Like they use bright colors. Like that's
Fair.
what it is. And I like that. What I didn't like was when I log into a stream for the first time to try to figure out who the fuck is playing. Because it's not listed under the description and it's during the draft. Who knew which team was which? Only the casters did because it was covered up and they weren't showing on their like overlay who it
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah. No, you're dead on.
They
Uh,
fixed it later that day, but I was livid about that. I was like, why am I sitting here watching this? Like this is probably the least bit of a major I've watched in years because I just can't stand to watch it. It's so bad.
yeah. There's been some good moments. I'll say that. Like I've enjoyed a couple of these. Like there's been some plays, people that you would not believe are like amazing. What was it? We ended
I
up in a game with Liquid where like a Snapfire had like 2 Datalises and a Divine Rapier.
Yeah, I've watched a few of them, but it's been in client replays and no caster.
Can I tell you how you should watch this actually? And it's the way I have been.
Hmm.
So because I couldn't stand Twitch, I put it on my TV and I wanted to find a YouTube like stream because Twitch, whatever. So I went from the YouTube one. I could not find an English stream to save my life. So I watched a Spanish stream. Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. Like Spanish people, like, and this isn't even mean, is like speak so fast, and then when a fight is happening, dude, I can't keep up with even close to what's going on. Like, and it is honestly the best thing in the world to hear them just like go, oh, like whenever a team takes Roshan on really clutchy, they go Roshan, and I'm like, oh, dude, these passionate people are amazing, and it's wonderful to listen to. And I'm like, I don't really need the cast, but it's fun to listen to a Spanish dude get super passionate about Dota the way that I hear Spanish commentators getting passionate about like soccer. I love it. It's such a good time.
Oh, it is. It really is. Um, let's kind of move away from this. I'm getting worked up a bit.
I'm with
You
it.
know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I'm with it.
but what I do want to talk about is our standings a bit. So if you remember 2 episodes ago on episode 42, JMO, myself, and Welshy all took our who we think are going to be top three, and we took who our dark horse is and who our quote unquote donkey is. And our donkey is the ones who should do good but completely bottom out.
Yep.
Sorry to say, JMO's donkey is balling out.
Oh yeah, dude.
He took Gaming Gladiators and went. They're 11-5, number one seed in Group A. How's everybody else? My Shopify Rebellion. They're third. They went 10-6, third in Group B. But remember what I said was they're going to do well in groups and they're going to bomb out again in the bracket play. So we'll see how that unfolds. And yours was EG, who is also third in Group A, 10-6.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see where that goes. But if anyone's curious, standings obviously you can find on Wikipedia. But we're looking at our top four from each group is Gaming Gladiators, Team Spirit, Evil Geniuses, and Talon in Group A. In Group B is Team Liquid, Entity, Shopify Rebellion, and Aster.
Which I mean, I have to talk about the highlight for me here is the fact that like if you remember from the last not only the TI but all of the majors, like PSG LGD has been like a star-studded team for the last couple of seasons and just like a really good competitor overall, especially at the majors. They show really well at the majors, and maybe that's going to change in brackets. But I got to say they dropped the ball during groups right now. They're at 8-8. So like this team that's basically swept every major in the group stage, like usually, is now sitting like very middle of the pack.
They hadn't even performed well in region either. Like they took, I guess they technically won it, but like they won it on the last day, and still not convinced that Aster isn't the best Chinese team. But PSG LGD is still in the lower bracket, so you still do have a chance. Aster, however, is in the upper bracket. They're to face Gaming Gladiators, which is your big story that you're freaking pumped about.
Dark horses, dude. I love it. I love when people come out of nowhere.
But who was your dark horse? Execration. How are they?
Oh, shit,
they're
yeah.
eliminated.
Yeah, they're gone.
JMO's was Team Spirit, who is performing pretty good. They were number 2 in Group A, 11-5. Actually, technically tied same record as Gaming Gladiators.
Yep. Bet Boom are gone. I think somebody said something about Bet Boom. I swear to you they did. Did you talk about Bet Boom?
No, I think it was JMO was saying that Bet Boom could be good.
Okay.
But I think ended up saying that Spirit would be his dark horse instead.
That's fair.
Mine was Entity. And number 2 in Group B, 11-5, pretty good showing.
Fair enough.
But they get to play Evil Geniuses in the first round. I mean, honestly, you look at the first round of playoffs, or I say playoffs, goodness gracious.
First round of brackets.
Yeah, first round of brackets.
You're good.
So, Aster plays Gamma Gladiators. Who's gonna win this?
I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I feel like it's going to be Gaming Gladiators. I mean, looking at Aster's matchups, they're 8-8 right now out of groups. But, I mean, they had to go against some pretty, I'd say, good teams. I mean, except for, like, Knights. But, like, I mean, they're against Liquid, Entity, Shopify Rebellion. Like, I mean, there's a really good set of teams in that bracket. So, I don't know. I always feel like, what is it? In full honesty, I feel like China always just turns on the gas when it gets to bracket. So I feel like it's probably going to be Aster. I feel like Gaming Gladiators are going to do the same
because
thing.
I'm gonna.
No, I'm definitely going Aster. Like I'm going Aster.
Going Aster.
I have a feeling that Gaming Gladiators are just going to pull any. Was it EG? It was EG.
Yeah.
They're going to pull an EG. They're going to be top of the bracket, and then they're going to get out in the first round.
I am also going with Aster here. I think that they're just a really overall solid team. And I'm not completely convinced with Gammon. Like, it may be one of those things where they excelled because they understood the meta, but are they actually better players?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because they're going to have, like, a bit of time to catch up, review, all that stuff. I think Aster's better. That's what I think.
That's exactly what happened with EG last season, right? Like, it was basically like they showed their entire hand in the group stage, and they had this great strategies. What were they doing? They were running a lot of Brood, weren't they?
A lot of Brood Mother.
Yeah. And they ran a lot of Brood. It got through a lot of times. They won a lot of games off of it. And then it seemed like the entirety of the league had figured out their strategy. And at least the 2 teams that they faced and got like bopped by and just got sent home. Like, because the entirety of what they were doing was figured out. I have a feeling Gaming Gladiators, as many wins as they have, the way they win, I think will be exposed. I think a lot of more teams are holding things to their chest, just getting through groups.
The next one's going to be Entity and Evil Geniuses.
That's a hard one.
I'm going Entity, and here's why.
Good.
They're my dark horse, and I need them to stay alive as long as possible.
That's fair.
That's it.
Did EG move to Peru? Like, move to South America?
Yeah, this is like basically. Oh, who are the 2 teams? Thunder and Beast Coast combined, and then
their old rosters.
That, and then yeah.
Home turf advantage. I'm gonna say Entity. I'm gonna say Entity because I think they're a more tried and true tested team, honestly. And I think that I think Group B was a lot harder. I think that you show that they're like same in the bracket about as far as their wins losses, but I think Entity had a much stronger bracket to face.
Spirit and Shopify Rebellion.
Oh, dude, it's Shopify Rebellion all day, dude.
No, man, I'm going the opposite in this one.
Till I die. Yeah, fair enough. Jamo's dark horse.
It's Jamo's dark horse, but also Shopify is my donkey. So I think they're just gonna bomb out. In
Do you
all
just
honesty,
think any team Arteezy's on is cursed? Is that just your thought here?
no, it's not cursed. I just think they're bad. Like, in all honesty, like I feel like a lot of teams, what makes them good is they have a style of play, they work on that style of play, they stay true to that style of play, and it's something where they set the meta and teams are playing catch up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Every single tournament, it's like Shopify is so far behind the meta. Like, they might find one hero that they can abuse. It gets figured out immediately, and they can't adapt like to the rest of the meta that they're missing. Like, they find a small piece, can't figure out the whole thing. And then once you get into bracket play, it's like, okay, now you're playing against the great teams, not just feeding off the shitty ones, and you're gonna get knocked out because you don't have a full firm grasp because they don't have any creativity. Like, it's the same shit in every single meta. I mean, shit, we watched them freaking run Luna. I mean, granted they won the game, but like Jesus, like they pick Luna because they're like, oh, we're out drafted Arteezy. Who the hell do you want? Well, Luna's fun because I play a shit ton of that. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you're right. I mean, Artur in particular, like he's such an interesting player to me because he is like, I mean, if you watch any of the like 7 streams he does every 10 years, he's just such an easily like affected player and like that he will feed constantly. Like he just seems like for a pro player's map awareness, he's either literally the reason you're winning the game or the reason you're losing. That's just Artur.
I also feel like this team relies on too much of being a super team. Like,
That's true.
They rely way too much on just being the highest ranked players in
the highest rank in the region. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, region, world, whatever. And then it's like they have no cohesion because you have too many damn too much ego. Like you say, oh, we played together and all this stuff. We like playing together. Well, opposed to who? Because your egos are too high and you don't respect anybody else. But you can't actually make a team setting work because you guys all of you have to be like the top dogs, and it doesn't work.
I mean, we've seen it literally happen. I'm not saying it's our tour, but I'm saying
that the last two shits.
Yeah, I mean, look at Shopify Bell, and they walked EG walked into out of group stages thinking they were hot shit at the top of the bracket, and then got bopped by 2 teams they had no right getting bopped by.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even close. Like none of the games they played in bracket were close.
And then, like you look at the teams who are winning, Tundra and Spirit in the last 2.
Yeah.
These are not by any stretch the best individual players. They're the best teams. And they understand that they have to be creative. They have to come together and they have to play as a team and play team strats.
For sure.
Or they can't win. And it's just not like that for Shopify, and never has been. And that's, in my opinion, that's why they don't win.
Case made. I'm still going to fucking root for them for the memes. Sure. I think the next one is just a really easy. It's Liquid versus Talon. I don't think there's even a debate. It's obviously Talon.
Okay, I'm putting you down for Talon. You can't change that because I'm going Liquid.
Don't you dare.
Nope, I already did. Too late.
You know what? If I fucking make money on that one, I'm going to lose my mind.
I didn't know we were betting.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll get to that subject in a minute. But yeah. But no, I think that one's a really clear cut. If that'll be the single biggest upset I think I've ever seen in Dota if that occurs. Honestly, to me, it is. I know Talon's got a good record, but dude, no, I'm sorry. Next one is, what is it?
Well,
Hellraisers.
No, that's all we have.
Nah,
so
fair enough. Then there's lower
I'm
bracket,
not going to go in the
lower
bracket just
because
we don't know who the matchups are.
Nah, you're right.
Do you want to go into like a little bit more like how are teams doing from the top 3 so far? So JMO picked Liquid, Tundra, PSG, LGD. So he's got 2 of his are in upper, 1's in lower. I've got Aster, Liquid, EG, all mine are upper. You've got PSG, LGD in the lower, Aster in the upper, and then Beast Coast in the lower. So you're doing the worst, so good job.
Thanks, babe.
Yes, you get nothing. Good day, sir.
Hey man, PSG LGD gonna pull out from the
absolute tournament is not over.
I'm telling you.
Tournament is not.
I was gonna say it ain't over till it's over, man.
But I'm excited to, especially bracket plays coming up. And all
hell yeah, man! I'm looking forward to it.
Um, with that being said, though, there has been a little bit of news that has come into light of some shady shit.
I mean,
Talk me through that.
I feel like this comes up every time there's either a major or TI. It's usually worse at the majors for some reason. But so to say this, there obviously was 4 qualifying teams that came from China. And we didn't talk about this too much, but at the bottom of both of the groups, A and B, are 2 Chinese teams, eHome and Knights. Now, eHome, I can't talk too much on because there's still some stuff going on there. But Knights has been the team Knights, who went, what was it, 1-15 overall, have been officially accused by one of the Ukrainian streamers, the Ukrainian casters, as cheating, as match fixing. And where
Not
this,
once, not twice, 3 times they have been accused of this shit.
oh yeah, well that and also stream sniping or like just cheating in general.
I
Because they were accused
mean,
of, what was it? There's actually an accusation of them having map hacks, not streaming, not stream sniping.
yeah.
So Knights as a whole team is very, very shady in the first place. And so let me explain the case as to why this accusation came up, because he does make a fairly valid point. So he noted that in a game against, let me pull up the match because I have to remember which one it was. I think it was versus, it was either TSM or Execration. It was one of the 2 of those. And basically, so it's a lower teams in the bracket. They're both like, not all of them are not really great teams. They all got eliminated at the end. But what occurred is that on Chinese betting sites, during one of the games, Knights had a substantial lead against the enemy team. So I think it was like 5 minutes into the game, it was like a 5K lead. So like really setting up for like a pretty good win at the beginning, which put the betting odds, highly in the favor of Knights. Now, if you know how these work, these odds are not based on betting odds, and a lot of sites are not based off of like a pro's opinion sitting here like guessing what the odds should be. It's based on the money being put down on the match as it happens. So if bets are very heavily going the way of like one side, then they will decrease the odds as they're going, and it'll increase the odds on the other side, right? So there's a lot of people putting money down on the side of Knights winning the game because they had an early lead. So a lot of people putting money down, which is increasing the odds that Knights is against the which is increasing.
To go on top of this, when you put money down, like even if you put $100, it's not really gonna budge too much. Like in order to substantially move this, like you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars.
Exactly. Somewhere in an amount of money that you would not bet on a video game match, right? That no normal person would. And in the middle of them having this lead, while the odds were at their basically the highest they were for Knights to win, and they were at the very like the highest payout for Knights losing. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a dramatic drop happens in the odds for them winning, despite nothing really changing in the game. It wasn't after a major fight, wasn't anything that occurred. It went from, I think it was like a 1 in, I think it was like 8 odd.
Probably, yeah. No.
That was like a 1 in 30 or something.
I don't know what it was immediately, but it went to a 1 to 12.52. Like it basically,
that was the highest.
To put this into perspective, usually when you look at these, like having a 1 to 3 like odds is like really fucking high. Like one team is significantly more favored because you look at this and it's like, well, 3 times more money is being put down on this team versus the other.
Fair point.
All of a sudden this jumps when they're up like 4K, like it's 20 minutes into the game, like they're on the up and up. It jumps to 1 to 12.5, which means like, and this is a betting site, thousands of like transactions come through with this, and the amount of money that needs to be put down in order to move it to 12.5, like holy shit.
Yeah,
like that's absurd. And it's like it's just unbelievable, like how much money you would have to put in to actually do this.
Yeah, and there were a couple of other categories I think that got hit really weirdly in games with Knights. There were some that were like really weird odds for things like would the kill count end in an odd number or an even number? And it was like, think the odds of those were really weirdly outbalanced, like by the end of the game. Now, you could say that maybe that's a betting pool that not a lot of people are betting on. But again, it's another thing they kind of put to question. So you have a team that is already shady for being accused of using map hacks, being accused of like stream sniping. And then on top of that as well, finally getting eliminated 1-15 and just might have gotten here and just made their money through match fixing and then left. And I mean, I hate to say it, but like, do you even like who even is on Knights? Is anybody who's even reputable?
I mean, they finished the DPC pretty decent. Like,
Which is where the map hack fucking accusation
yeah, I mean,
came
coming
in.
out like they were a third place team. Like they did well. Um,
Oh, I'm not saying it like they didn't. I'm saying more so
no, I'm
these are a bunch
saying
of
like
dark horse names.
they're not a shit team. Like they're
Fair.
not PSG LGD. They're not Aster. Like they're shit like that. But they are not like um unknown players in that region, like
Yeah.
by any means. I just don't watch Chinese Dota. Like I personally, when I'm watching Dota, I want to watch. Well, everyone wants to fucking watch Western Europe.
Everyone wants to watch Liquid, dude.
And I watch. What a treat to watch that team. In all honesty,
Mm-hmm.
but then I want to watch SA because SA is fun.
That's
Like
actually
it's
fun,
actually
Dota, yeah.
it's so much
I was
fun
gonna
to watch.
say.
I don't even watch NA all that much, like hardly at all. Like it's usually Western Europe and SA.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, there's not like they're number 3 team in all of China. Like they're a good team, and these aren't unknown players.
this isn't like a shit ass region, right? But they still managed to come here and go 1-15. Now, if there was more fixing throughout the rest of their matches and that kind of thing is a whole other question. But the one that the Ukrainian caster is like pointing out is one that is a very, very odd circumstance for sure. And it's even more odd because if you watched eHome's performance, which I mean, eHome has a long history in Dota, wouldn't you say, Greco?
Yeah,
They're around since like tier 2 or 3, I think.
they're one of the few that have been around for a while. I think they may have been in TI1. I'm actually gonna have to look that one up.
You're good. While you're doing that, let me just say that even eHome has gone through their rounds of accusations of them doing bullshit, and this major is not really any different. There are some really questionable plays that just were.
Yep, TI1 by the way.
There you go. So, like I said, they're a long-standing team. So, I mean, maybe they go the way of Newbie. Like, was Newbie a Chinese team?
Yes, it was.
Man, things are not looking good for the Chinese region. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, Newbie is a team that got officially disbanded. They were a long time standing, very formidable team, and got officially disbanded and banned from Dota because they were found guilty of match fixing.
Now, little trivia bit,
yeah,
about this. This
go
used to
ahead.
be my favorite team.
Unfortunate, sir. But to that exact point, it's like, so now the Chinese region has now had 3 teams that have been accused of match fixing, and substantially so, I would say. Like, there's some evidence that makes some sense. Now, let it be said at the same time, though, that like this is also like one Ukrainian caster's accusation of seeing this. The evidence does make some sense, but there's a lot of other factors in like betting calculations and things that you can't just take that at face value, right?
Well, the reason that he went to do this was because like there's so many people watching the game. Like the community was like, "This is match fixing." Like, look, like they're the ones he told the streamer, "Hey, check this out. Like, look at these betting sites and all this stuff." Like,
The
they were the
community
ones who
found
opened up
this?
the
Okay.
avenue. The community found it.
Yeah,
He just brought it up to light on his platform.
gotcha.
But yeah, this is nothing new in Chinese Dota, and there's been multiple teams, multiple like players who've been in trouble for this.
It would be very interesting to see if this stays an issue and if this gets proven to be true. What is going on in the Chinese region to have 3 teams?
The problem is Valve tiptoes around China, and they have to.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean, like when it comes to esports, China leads the way, and like viewership, acceptance, like it's an entire region based out of one country. Like, think about that. Like, we have Western Europe, and how many teams are in that? SCA, how many teams are in that? Eastern Europe, how many teams are in that? Like, NA, like, we have a full fucking continent. Like, SA, a full fucking continent. China, one country.
Yeah, it's literally just the country of China.
I mean, it's it's a whole region, and they have to be careful with how they handle things, but they tiptoe, and I'm curious how severe some of this stuff is going to be. Like, I imagine they're investigating, but I don't know. Like, in all honesty, and what can you do about it right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, where did well, also, you can't be banning people from this thing to dedicate themselves to on a whim, right? I mean, like, unless who's the
Oh,
dude
you
who's
absolutely can.
fair, but I'm saying more so, who's the dude who committed 322, which for anybody
Roger.
who is not familiar with Dota, a huge meme in the Dota community is that there is an individual player who committed match fixing, who bet like $322 on himself and like got himself banned from Dota because of it. Like, could make hundreds of thousands if he was a great player, had potential, but decided to throw his whole career away for like a bet for $322. That would make him like $600 if it worked, which he did. Like, what player was that?
I think this was
Who was
Roger. But I want to make. I'm looking it up because I don't want to be wrong on this one. I believe it's Roger though.
Give me a sec.
You're
Solo.
throwing all this stuff in. Is this solo?
It's Solo.
It was solo. Roger, I think, got in trouble though at one point.
Yeah. Did Solo end his career over 320? Dude, I'm even remembering this and hating it. Yeah, this was from 2013, mind you. So this is a while ago, but still. No, that's not from 2013. No, it's not. That can't be. It has to not be from 2013.
Yeah, and regardless, I mean, there's been issues like they have banned and stuff like this. Like, they banned. Goodness gracious, my TI freaking trivia is just not working for me at all.
You're good. Let's just say that in
Wings Gaming.
Yeah,
like, they
Wings.
banned them, and that was a Chinese team.
And that's another match fixing one.
That one was a little bit different. I think it was more like payout type shit.
They weren't paying their players, something like that. They ran with the money.
Yeah, I forget what the whole issue behind that was, but
whole deep plot with that. But again, another issue coming out of the Chinese region,
which I was a little disappointed about because Wings was like one of those teams where you watch and you're like,
well, they were good. They won the TI.
They won TI6.
Yeah.
And it was just like the way they played Dota was so incredible. But yeah, I mean, it's something's got to be done. Like, they have to. They can't remain silent on this stuff.
They have to at least comment of like doing their investigation and whether or not they found something or not. I really don't want this to be something that just disappears and we don't hear about ever again. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And
also,
it will eventually, but
yeah. Also, sidebar, because I have to mention this. For anybody who hasn't seen it, do you see the Shadow Shaman set? That's like not set, but like the graphic that like lights up when you hit Dodo now. I pray that becomes an actual set in the game. That is so cool looking.
So let's kind of move in like meta wise here. What have you been seeing as far as this major goes?
For me, it has really felt like the entirety of the Lima major has been just defined as either Lina or Nature's Prophet right now.
I mean, two of the most heavily contested heroes. I mean, they are the fucking carries currently.
Yeah, the carries.
I mean, honestly, like, okay, somebody's going to get Nature's Prophet and Treant, and then the other team's going to get Lina because there's nobody else.
Nobody else is like as effective at the very least. They're in the bracket of their entire own, right? Like if you had to call it, they're like triple S tier. Like I know they lost the game, but I did watch Beast Coast almost solo carry a game with Alina. It was such a spectacle.
The hero's insane. It farms super fucking fast. Like, it has heavy nuke and early game potential. Like, the fucking strength gain on a hero is ridiculous. Like, it's so tanky. And yeah, I mean, it's a Lina patch, and it has been for a really fucking long time.
Yeah, dude, she has a Falcon Blade, and she just throws fastballs in lane that you just can't stay. It's terrible.
It's a nightmare to play against. Like, you have to get on top of her, but then like she's single-handedly making the safe lane like better on her own. Like, it's hard to say in most matchups that your safe lane. So for a long time, let me rephrase this. For a long time, your off lane has been like the advantage in that lane. The off laner,
Mm-hmm.
very very hard for your carries. Now, because of Lena and Nature's Prophet, it's like, okay, now our off laners aren't nearly at an advantage because these heroes lane really fucking well and they can play early.
Mm-hmm.
How do you slow down their farm? You really can't. Especially Nature's Prophet.
Oh God, you can't slow him down. Period. And it's just, like playing Natures just seems really easy to me, man. It just seems like you hit R before you go into a fight, and then you just teleport in and just hit like a truck.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a hard one. Like, I mean, it's. I hate to say it, but in full honesty, me, it's boring. It is a boring meta to me right now.
I hate this meta.
Legit. Like, maybe it's because it's just been around for so long. Like, this is like one of the longer patches we've had in Dota history. But I'm done with it. I'm really done with just seeing Lena's every game, or it's nature. Or God, oh my God, I'm so tired of Treant Protector. I can't even define it. Which is again, he's like number 3 for the major, and he's in every goddamn pub.
Oh yeah, every single fucking pub.
Yeah, he's
like
of
Treant,
the
Undying, fucking Tinies, Tusk mids, fucking
do the tusks. Oh
Death
God, the tusks.
Prophets. Like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like I'm so tired of like all of these fucking Ricky, dude.
Oh, the support Rickies. Oh my God, I'm done with it. What is it? March 4th. I think the patch is coming out.
Something like that, which is gonna be fun because it's gonna be right before the charity event.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm excited. That's exactly what I'm excited for. I'm excited for everybody to have to figure it out while dealing with all the punishments they have. Speaking of which,
if they get to,
yeah,
because there's going to be times when other people are going to be picking their heroes for them.
Oh damn! You know what? So, who was your like surprise of the major so far? Would you say? I got a couple. I got like 2 or 3 that were like surprise effective picks. But like, who are your, let's say, dark horse heroes? Like, who are your dark horse heroes that you were like, wow, I can't believe how effective this hero
being
is?
Picked or like contested or what?
Let's say picked. Let's say like what hero have you been seeing being picked up a lot that's been really good? Like that you've just seen being who?
Phoenix.
Has Phoenix been picked up that much?
16th, 27 picks.
Really?
Yeah, 51% win rate.
And this is with Alina. This is with Lena being in the meta right now. Like that's surprising, considering Lena can throw fastballs.
Oh, Lena, Nature's Prophet being in there.
Yeah.
Like it's harder in pubs because you get like a lot of Ursas, and like Ursa is being picked in this, but not like it's only been picked 16 times. So, and then the Morphlings on top of that, in the Drows, and I don't think Sniper's been picked all that much.
That's fair
at all, if I remember. But like Sniper even in pubs currently is a really, really heavily contested hero. So like it's really hard to play this, and there's so many counters. It's rough.
Oh, for sure.
But if you notice when it's getting picked, it's getting picked like the 4th or like last.
Yeah, it makes sense. Do you know who I'm really surprised by, honestly?
Who?
Disruptor has been kicking ass in this major. I don't know if you've noticed.
You know why?
Why?
Because he's a really strong laner, aka I'm gonna lane it with fucking Lena, or Nature's Prophet, which is really, really strong. I've got DPs in the fucking game, so I can just lock people in with DP ult going around. It's like, and there's a bunch of Bat Riders, so you just glimpse the Bat Rider. Like it's overall, it's a good hero. It's fucking damn near impossible to lane against, and you're just picking strong laners with these Lenas and these Nature's Prophets.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Played it a couple times. It feels good. Like it actually does feel really good. It's a great like place for a disruptor currently. I am maybe like I kind of want to move into like the unpicked and unbanned heroes.
By all means, let me say really quickly before we do. Mars, 10 games, 30% win rate. No. Take that back even more. Drow, 20 games, 30% win rate. Hero sucks. Stop picking it.
It's not a bad hero, in all honesty.
Meh.
There's a lot of gap close, and like it's hard to get the hero off the ground currently.
That's true.
It's not super mobile, but it does push and it does shit damage, and range heroes are phenomenal currently.
Yeah.
What I'm a little more surprised about in that instance is like Razor. Razor was, if you remember, king bitch when it came to like the early stages of this, and now it's so figured out. It's only been picked twice.
I mean, again,
It's
it's
only been banned 3 times.
yeah, it's like we said, right? Like people figure out heroes real quick, and then once they're figured out, they're basically dead. Like it's very funny because in reality, if you actually pay attention to the meta, like you could leave the game the exact same, and if you give it 2 years of time on the same patch, the meta will change just by players figuring stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is amazing to me that this game is a one where you could make it the same, but for some reason things will creep out of the woodworks like years after it comes out, or like months. Like months go by, and then suddenly somebody figures out that Leshrac is really busted. Ursa's amazing, like with this item or with this combination. Ricky Sleep Dart is actually the most broken shit ever. Like it wasn't just day one. Neither was Lena. Like Lena was not day one of this patch.
No, no. That was experimenting, and it's the weird shit that like you tend to find out later on.
Oh yeah.
Because people get bored of the patch, and then they start experimenting with shit, and then
they find ridiculous stuff. Yeah.
Going back to unpicked and unbanned, like, is there anyone that you're surprised like who hasn't been even remotely touched of the 13?
I can. The first thing I want to say is the fact that if anything, these unpicked, unbanned heroes scream to the fact of why I'm not playing this meta right now, because every one of my heroes is basically unpicked, unbanned. But honestly, with it being such a regen heavy meta, I'm honestly shocked that AA has not been picked up once. Not picked, not banned. And it is the regen meta. It really is.
Well, you think about it, like if you look at all the supports who really haven't been picked, the A's, the Banes haven't been picked. You haven't seen any Dazzle. Like you haven't seen any Grimstroke. It's like the real reason is because they're too fucking squishy.
Yeah.
Like you got these Nature's Prophets, these Lenas, like Storms being played, Embers being played, shit Broods being played. Like they can get on top of you and you just straight up die. The one that I am, at least support wise, I'm a little shocked by is Witch Doctor.
Really?
It just feels like a lot of people have been experimenting with it and like even running it, going so far running it mid lane. Like I thought somebody in the group stage was fucking running mid, personally.
I'll be
I mean, the hero, like, it does so much damage. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, it's a great lane support.
Pick off like cores, shit like that, but it just kind of gets into the grit of things of too much shit can get on top of it.
Yep, and at the late game, it just does not enough. It really doesn't. I'm actually like, again, the ones that were really standard were very big staples, right? Like Shadow Demon was a big staple, it seems so far. The one that really shocked me, if I'm honest, was honestly Winter Wyvern. I always thought of Winter Wyvern as like a very solid kind of state, like what's the word I'm looking for? Staple of like just pro Dota overall. I also always thought the same thing, honestly, about Dazzle. So I don't know. It just really surprised me that these are the ones that are out.
Have been very reduced to sustain.
Fair.
And getting away from like your squishies, for the reason I stated before. Now, if I may, for those of you who are in my pubs, listen up. Stop picking fucking Juggernaut. Stop fucking picking Dusa. Stop fucking picking Necro and wondering why the fuck you're losing. There's a reason why these three are picked. Please just cut it out.
Telling people in pub Dota to not play Juggernaut, dude, is impossible.
No,
I'm sorry.
Telling people to fucking not go mid Necro. Holy fuck, man. Like, I see a Necro in my game, I know I lost. It's like the
It's that bad.
Dodge. What does it do?
If you're at 50% health, you die.
Okay, you eliminated one fucking hero. Then what?
You reach out
every time you do that. Like they're already dead usually.
Nah, you're right. So
like, for fucking like, what do you do?
You're dead on. I gotta say, here's my thought. In full honesty, any major that doesn't have at least one Meepo play, it makes me sad. I love watching Meepos play. It's the flashiest hero in Dota for me. Even like,
flashiest hero in Dota is Puck to me.
that's probably fair. But I like watching. I love Meepo plays. I love watching Meepos. Period. I think that it can be an absolute symphony of skill.
Yeah, they're fun. They're definitely fun to watch. I agree with you.
Oh yeah. So let me say this as well. Like you talked about this a little bit before, and it wasn't until I started watching this major that it really made it clear to me. But right now, you basically can't play an offlaner unless you build Guardian Greaves.
Oh yeah, you thought I was crazy when I told you to build Greaves.
No, I didn't. And then Naya told me like today that there was an offlane Chen that was played, like offlane core Chen, and I lost it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, like why would they ever do that? And I go, well, let's see. It's a hero that'll build Greaves. It's a hero that has fucking like Zoo with it. Oh damn! It's like another Broodmother or Lycan or fucking Nature's Prophet. Holy shit!
Nah, bullshit. I hate it.
Like I mean, Enigma. Like, Enigma's not even played because of Black Hole anymore. It's played because it can build fucking Greaves and has, like, summons. Like, that's why it's played, because it pushes and has Greaves. This meta's boring as fuck. Somebody was talking, a pro player was talking, he was like, I don't understand, like, I hate this meta so much, because your position 3 should be able to win you the game. It should be able to like make like ridiculous plays. It should be able to potentially carry. Instead, it's just build Greaves and be an Aura bot, and it's fucking awful. I love position 3. I love playing it. I know you do too. This is the most boring fucking meta for position 3 that I've ever seen.
Yep. But what are you gonna do? The meta's changing. It's coming in March. Yeah, it's coming in early March. The meta's going to change, and I'm going to be happy to be there when it does. I pray, bring my brew boy home, please. I want to say this, he was unbanned. Like, he's unpicked, but he was only banned once. And if I'm honest with you, that's a waste of a ban.
It's got to be so fucking, like, specific, man. Like, why you ban it? I don't know.
It is. I mean, it's, again, just, I don't know, man. Like, the major and TI kind of really defined. I don't remember when they changed it, but just I remember at least at the Arlington major, dude, it was so effective anytime it was picked up because of just the fact that the Ags is so ridiculous. And now the Ags is dog shit. Not going to get into it. Not going to get mad about it. Endpoint being is that I need my heroes to come back. I need Axe to be effective again. I need make Axe great again. Make Brew great again. Please. Those are my asks of all the Valve employees who listen to the podcast.
Yeah, all of them. Every none of them.
Yep. Gabe, I don't know you're there, dude.
Start sending him to him in his emails.
Dude, I will email this man. This man's going to get the most passive-aggressive shit. I swear to you.
I have emailed this man to join the PSGS Invitational every single season.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. With that being said, I think we're all finished up here. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, supporting us, as we really do. We don't do this for the viewers. We don't do this because we're making money and all this stuff. We do this because it's fun, and we just enjoy talking Dota once a week and really discussing all the things around it. So appreciate all you guys for listening in and joining us, and until next time on episode 45, take care. Good night.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Laters.